This is the bento bag from Nomad Lane, and it's one of my favorite personal item bags. It fits under the seat and the organization is excellent. I've personally used the bento extensively, so I know exactly how it performs in real-world travel. The biggest complaint, though, is the price tag at $298. And for a long time, there hasn't been a true alternative. Until now. This right here is the Voyager Split Travel Bag from Quince. As you can tell, at first glance, it looks nearly identical. And it's only $128 US. So the question is, does this half-price copy actually deliver the same experience? Or is the bento still the better buy once you're actually using it? In this video, I'm comparing them side by side, feature by feature, so you can decide which one actually deserves your money. Also, this video is not sponsored, and I might actually be jeopardizing any future sponsorships with these brands because of what I'm about to say in this video. I only ever share my honest opinions about things that I share on this channel. So with that, let's get into it. At first glance, these look almost identical. They've got the same general shape, same clamshell opening, same dual compartment interior layout. But once you have them side by side, there are definitely some differences here. The Quince is a little taller and slightly more narrow, whereas the bento has more of a trapezoid shape. Now, that height difference matters. I've used the bento on a lot of aircraft, and it usually fits upright under the seat, but occasionally I have had to lay it on its side. Because the Quince is taller, you might find yourself having to lay it sideways more often, especially on more budget or tighter airlines. So if you want to be strict about personal item sizing, that's something to keep in mind. Now let's talk numbers because this is where things get interesting. When it comes to capacity, Quince lists this bag at 14 liters, whereas the bento lists theirs at 24 liters. On paper, that's a huge difference, but visually, they're nearly the same size. So we're going to test that later and see what they can actually hold. Weight-wise, the website says the Nomad Lane bag weighs 2.7 pounds empty, but when I weighed it, it was 2.9 pounds. On the Quince website, it says their bag weighs 3.7 pounds, which is a pound heavier than the bento. But when I weighed it at home, it was 2.9 pounds empty. So in my testing, these bags weigh the exact same. In my experience, once fully packed, the bento does get heavy. Personally, I use this type of bag as a roller companion, so it sits on top of my carry-on, and that way I'm not carrying the full weight for long periods of time. If you plan to carry this on your shoulder through an airport all day, weight absolutely matters, and you'll probably want a backpack instead. Let's move to layout, because this is where they're extremely similar. Both have a wide front zippered admin pocket with more pockets inside of that. The biggest difference is the interior color of this pocket. The bento has a light coral lining, and the Quince is black inside. This might sound minor, but quick access pockets are where you're going to be digging around for your passport, your wallet, or earbuds. And when you're reaching in mid-flight in that dim cabin lighting, black interiors are not ideal. I always prefer lighter interiors for visibility. That being said, I don't think this would deter me from buying this bag. On the back, both have a luggage sleeve that converts into a pocket. But the Quince one does have a magnetic snap closure. But functionally, this is an identical feature. If you care about this bag sitting neatly on top of your roller, both do the exact same job. Both have a stowaway side water bottle pocket. They're very similar in execution, no real meaningful difference here. Both bags have two zippered top pockets. They're great for headphones, tech, snacks, or anything you need to pull out quickly at TSA or airport security, or when you're mid-flight. The bento has one big advantage, though. It comes with a perfectly fitted accessory set, a tech organizer, and a clear toiletry pouch designed to sit perfectly inside those compartments. The Quince does not include these. So if you like the idea of a pre-designed system, the bento bag wins here. However, you can buy the accessory set separately and use them in the Quince bag because they do fit. Another option is to use a small sling bag or crossbody bag that you already have, which will then fit inside these pockets. And then that way, you've got a small bag to use once you're at your destination. However, the Quince adds something the Bento doesn't: waterproof zippers, which is a great improvement. I've had someone in the seat in front of me spill their drink, which then leaked onto my bag underneath the seat. So waterproof zippers are definitely a nice feature if you can find that, especially when you don't notice a spill right away. Both have padded laptop compartments that can hold up to a 16-inch laptop. And the Quince version even has the super secret foam pocket at the back, just like the bento bag. Now let's talk about the handles. They're both pretty similar in size and shape. The bento's handles drape nicely out of the way when accessing the top zippers. They're softer, more flexible, and feel slightly more comfortable in hand. The Quince handles stand more upright and feel a little more stiff, but they do come with this little snap clip to hold them together. But I would say overall, the bento handles feel more broken in and comfortable. And here's how the handles and bags look on my shoulder and frame. For reference, I'm about 5'1". As far as the materials and overall feel, this is where the difference becomes the most obvious. The bento feels soft and buttery. It feels flexible, elevated, and honestly, it does feel nice and premium. The Quince material feels durable and structured, but it's slightly stiffer, I would say almost plasticky, and it's a louder fabric. It's definitely more of a utilitarian look and a little more masculine, perhaps. Neither of them feels cheap, though, but the bento definitely feels a little more premium in hand. And aesthetically, the bento also wins. It comes in more interesting colors and has a slightly more elegant silhouette. Both open clamshell style with two distinct packing compartments. Layout-wise, they're nearly identical, with the mesh zipper divider on one side and the padded sleeves on the other. The most obvious difference here is the interior color. The bento having that nice light coral versus the all-black interior on the Quince. I always prefer lighter interiors for visibility. But realistically, if you're saving $170, the black interior probably isn't a deal breaker. All right, so let's pack these up with the same amount of items to see what they can hold. For demonstration purposes, I'll be packing a pair of jeans and black pants, a merino wool zip sweater and a t-shirt, this bomber jacket, one pair of pajamas, one bra, two undies, and a pair of merino wool socks, toiletries, and then a sling bag that holds my tech items like chargers, cables, and a power bank. I'm also throwing in my Insta360 camera and accessories, some hair tools, and my laptop. Basically, what I'm packing is most of the outfits you see here, and then enough items to travel for a few days, but honestly, you could travel a lot longer with all of this, because you really don't need as much as you think. I'll link some other videos that talk more about packing. So I'm starting with the bento bag. I'm not using packing cubes just so you can actually see what's in here. I love this bomber jacket, by the way. It packs down really flat if you don't want to wear it on the plane, but still need a warm jacket at your destination. And I love wearing jeans. Yes, they're bulky, but I wear them multiple days before washing. And bringing bottoms that are different from each other, like denim and black pants, you get the most variety of outfits. And for most trips of any length, I go lightweight with the undergarments. And on the other side, you can see I still have more room for a few more things if needed. And then the toiletries and tech items get popped into their upper pouches. Now, altogether, it weighed 14.6 pounds or 6.6 kilograms. And this video is not about how to pack light. This is just to test how the exact number of items fit in each bag. I do have a recent video, though, about how to pack this exact bag under 5 kilograms for a 10-day trip if you want to watch that next. Okay, now unpacking the bento and putting all the same items into the Quince bag. As I'm packing up again here, I do want to say I finally tried merino wool socks. I don't know why it took me so long, but they are amazing. For my upcoming 2-week trip, I think I'm only going to travel with about 3 pairs of socks. I've been testing out one pair and I've worn them for 5 days straight. I just air them out overnight and they seriously do not smell. And after a quick hand wash in the sink, They're completely dry in about 5 hours, so super easy for hotel travel. You don't want 100% merino though, because they'll be too delicate otherwise, but you do want a very high percentage. The ones I like are 83% and they're perfect. So anyway, the Quince is all packed up, and even though it's supposed to have 10 liters less capacity, it fits everything that the Bento does. And honestly, it feels a little less bulky because it's taller, so everything felt it was more evenly spread out. And as you can probably guess, it weighs the exact same, coming in at 14.6 pounds or 6.6 kilograms. Price is obviously one of the biggest decision factors here, and the cost savings alone on the Quince is probably the main reason to buy this over the Bento. To look at it from a different perspective, if these were within $40 to $50 of each other, I would probably choose the Bento. But they're not. So the real question is, does the Bento justify a $170 premium? I would say you're not missing out on anything other than some fun color options if you buy the Quince bag. But if you can afford it, I do think the quality of the Bento is slightly more elevated. It does come with the accessory pouches and overall wins in the looks category. In a nutshell, if you want the look and feel of luxury, go Bento. If you want 90% of the functionality for half the price, go Quince. So here's my final verdict. Overall, the functionality of each of these bags is the best. I truly love the design, the pockets, and the organization. So if you've been eyeing the Bento bag for a while and you love the idea of it, but just cannot justify the price, you're going to be really happy with the Quince version. Honestly, they're so close. Both of these are excellent bags. The difference really comes down to finish, feel, and price tolerance. If you want the more elevated luxury feeling option, Bento wins here. If you want strong functionality at a much lower price, Quince makes a lot of sense. You're not missing out on core performance with either one. So are you team Bento or are you team Quince? Or are you team backpack? Let me know in the comments. I would love to know what you think of these bags. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Please feel free to let me know in the comments or elsewhere any other type of bag that you would like to see me review. And don't forget to sign up for my email newsletter. I only send out emails about once or twice a month, and I make sure they're as valuable as possible. And over there, I can also share things that I can't share on YouTube, like exclusive sales and giveaways. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.